Hello, I'm Todd Phillips, the editor of Canadian Auto Dealer. We're here today with Chelsea O'Donoghue. She looks after OEM partnerships with Cox Automotive and a number of digital solutions products, including digital retailing products and others. So Chelsea, you've obviously been hearing from a lot of dealers and working with them during the midst of this. What are you hearing from them in the field? What are dealers going through right now?
I think, it's a challenging time for dealers as a whole. I think they're looking to us as a partner for some assistance, but also advice and kind of any creative solutions or ideas we have to help them through this time. Ontario and Quebec are especially challenged with dealerships being deemed non-essential businesses and being forced to close their showrooms. So while some are remaining open for service, how do we still sell vehicles to customers that are actively looking, that are still in the market, because there are people that still need vehicles, and what are some creative ways that we solve for that, so we can kind of navigate these uncharted waters together.
And one of the things I know that Cox Automotive and other suppliers are sort of helping dealers even, financially through this with rebates and such, just to recognize the struggles they're having with their businesses being closed down, staff being laid off. What are some of the initiatives that you're seeing in your own company to help them out?
Yeah, I think, we recognize that it's not only a challenging time for dealerships, but for vendors as well. So I think we're all in this together. And so at Cox Automotive specifically, we did offer 50% off our website rates, as well as our digital retailing rates for the months of April and May, to kind of offer some relief to dealers without any interruption to their services through this time. We've also developed a number of kind of COVID-19 related resources that we've made available to dealers. So anything from advertising templates to landing page content, sliders that they can use on their website that promote what level of service they're able to offer to their customers. So whether that be, announcing that they're open for service, they're working with reduced hours, their showroom is still open to customers. We have a number of kind of creative assets that we've developed and resources for dealers to help them let their customers know that they're still open for business and how they're open for business as well.
Well, kudos to you for that. I've never seen the industry pull together like this before. So many suppliers and dealers and OEMs and people partnering together with industry associations and government. It's really quite unprecedented. So good on you guys for doing that. Now to circle back to sort of the digital retailing side of things, it's a very integrated package that you can offer that basically can help a consumer go all the way through the buying journey, right through the transactional level. So it is exactly the kind of tools of the suite that dealers are looking to implement. I know that you've had the products in market for a while, but do you see that it might well be something that is just accelerated now in terms of interest and in terms of adoption?
Yeah, definitely. I think, consumers have been shifting more and more of their shopping behaviors online in recent years. This whole pandemic has really accelerated that behavior. So everything from groceries to clothing, absolutely anything you need to buy, people are ordering online and having delivered to their door. And so with social distancing measures in place, how do we still allow consumers to purchase a vehicle? And obviously digital retailing is a way to solve that at this time. So the appetite for digital retailing has increased tenfold. We're really seeing a heightened interest from all of our dealer customers and OEM customers in that solution. And then I think, the world will definitely be a changed place when we finally are able to go back to normal, and consumer behaviors will have changed as a result. So I think it's important to think about not just how we succeed now and why digital retailing is important now, but also how it will become more important for our dealer customers in the future as consumer behaviors change and there's more inclination to complete every purchase online.
Well, it's a great answer. One of the challenges with digital retailing is it's a misunderstood term. I mean, some people think it's full e-commerce, but maybe just walk us through sort of your definition of how that fits as just sort of a part of the consumer journey, and providing some or almost all portions of that online. How do you see dealers, if you could break it down to explain, what that means to a dealer who really doesn't have much now on their website beyond, lead forms or something like that, or maybe inventory? What would a digital retailing experience look like?
Yeah, I think in terms of what we can offer, our vision is certainly to get to that end-to-end e-commerce solution. And that's always been in our roadmap and in our plan for development with digital retailing. I think now what we do offer is accurate payments, so consumers can calculate finance and lease payments for themselves on a dealership website. They can evaluate their trade-in and have that trade-in evaluation integrate into the payment with all of the correct tax calculations that apply. They can apply for financing. So we offer the full end-to-end dealer track credit application integrated within our digital retailing tool. So allows that entire deal structure along with the consumer credit application to be sent to a lender for approval through the dealer track portal. It supports accessories and F&I products with pricing, so consumers can educate themselves about the aftermarket products and accessories that a dealership offers and have those added to the deal that they're structuring for themselves on the dealer's website. And they can also put a dealer or a deposit down on a vehicle at a dealership using a credit card. So certainly many of the steps are there. E-contracting is a big part of that, and that's something that's lender dependent. So I think, as more and more lenders move towards accepting e-signature, that's when we'll be able to see kind of that full end-to-end e-commerce solution come together.
Well, that's a great answer, a great way to look at it. The other thing is, regulators may well be apt to move more quickly on things like e-signatures in light of, trying to restrict social distancing or physical contact. I think there may well be, I know there's some work going on with the industry associations now to try to accelerate some of that. So coming out of this, just really the last question about how do you see really, there will be a recovery, the world will resume, whatever the time frame is like, no one can really accurately predict. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, what do you see the longer term impact? You mentioned earlier people are just going to use that, but in the dealership environment, as they start to adopt these tools in terms of maybe beyond just the transactional, maybe just an improved customer experience, or what do you see as sort of the outcome? Let's fast forward a year from now. What does the auto purchase experience look like for Canadian car buyers?
Yeah, I think it was already trending towards allowing consumers to do more and more of the purchasing steps online. A lot of the dissatisfaction that came from the vehicle purchasing process on both the dealer side and the consumer side centered around the lengthy parts, like the credit application and approval process, negotiating the terms of the deal and the trade, as well as even getting the F&I products selected and the additional contracts that are associated with those. So I think if there's any part of that you can shorten to save a consumer some time, that automatically is giving them something really valuable back and enhances that experience overall. I think this whole pandemic will really accelerate some of those trends that we saw prior to coronavirus coming and affecting our lives. So if anything, I think we were trending towards allowing customers to have, the option to do a lot of these steps online. And I think, in the future, post-COVID-19, we'll see a lot more desire for that capability when it comes to vehicle purchasing. So I think things will be very different. People will be more cautious, certainly. Social distancing has really changed things, but it's also an opportunity to innovate and think about different ways to do business. So, we're doing this over a Google Hangout. So there are still opportunities for dealers to have face-to-face interactions with their clients that don't necessarily have to take place physically at the dealership, but they can still kind of build that relationship with their customer.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the time today. And I know that you and your colleagues are going to be busy over the next while, helping dealers navigate through to create a more digital experience. And I imagine they're going to be very receptive to that help. And so thanks for your time today.
Oh, thanks for having me, Todd.
Okay, thanks. Okay, signing off.